block. So let me go ahead and show that to you right here. We are making this quilt as a teeny tiny foundation paper piecing quilt. The Balance quilt block is a series of half square triangles. So this is the foundation paper piecing size, but we are also making the quilt in the standard classic size. So today we will be working on the sewing the quilt block in the standard foundation, or the standard size, and on Wednesday we'll be doing the foundation paper piecing size instructions. So anyways, if you want to join along in the Live Well, Live Strong quilt sew along, it's a quilt with 26 quilt blocks about women's health and wellness. And this week we are talking about balance. So who needs more balance in their lives? I'm sure there are so many of you guys that feel that way, and especially during a pandemic and crazy things going on. So let's go ahead and get started. This quilt block is just a series of half square triangles, and we are combining together half square triangles in shapes. So let me go ahead and show you what I have for you, and I am going to show give you the overhead view of my sewing space. So right here I have the quilt blocks already cut out, and you can see this is the larger triangle of the Balance quilt block, and I actually have two of these, so we're going to just set this one aside. Now when we build out this quilt block, what we are doing is we are actually going to put a square right here to kind of have this be like a balancing act. Hello, Amanda! Is it chilly really down there right now? Oh my goodness! That's just crazy. So we are going to have this balance, this triangle, balance on another triangle. So it's a little balancing act, which is what our lives are like in real life, aren't they? We are then I am using solid fabrics here. This is a lipstick shade. This is a sunshine shade. And then we are going to go ahead and put our gray fabric as kind of like the background of the quilt block. So there are so many beautiful quilts out there made with prints. We've had some people make them all with their scrap fabrics, and oh my goodness, is it just beautiful. So I will have to share pictures with you guys of all the different quilt blocks that we have, and what they look like. So or the different Live Well, Live Strong finished quilts, and there's just so many beautiful examples out there. So anyways, I've got this right here. We're going to sew this together. I'm going to sew together these three squares with the yellow square first. Hello, Dolores, how are you? It's so good to see you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put these two triangles right sides together, right like that. And I am going to just stitch right along a 1/4 inch strip right along this edge right here. So I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine. I am using a 1/4 inch sewing machine foot to get a good accurate 1/4 of an inch seam. So I find that handy when I'm sewing on my sewing machine. So let me go ahead and lift this up. I'm going to bring over my pressing mat to press this open. So the Balance quilt block is just a series of half square triangles that we are going to combine together to get the shape of the quilt, of this quilt block. Okay, so now I have this done, and maybe I should have actually pressed this so that my seam is going to the darker side of the fabric. You go ahead and do whatever you feel comfortable with, but I'm going to press that over to the darker side of the fabric. So how is everybody doing? Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm doing great. I'm here busy in Salt Lake City, Utah, taking care of lots of really fun things. Now, on this little point right here, I want to go ahead. In fact, I'm going to maybe, for example's sake, I'm going to trim off my dog ears right here. So let's go ahead and trim off these little dog ears. So those are those triangles left over. And I'm going to trim them off because I really want to show you guys something with the Live Well, Live Strong pattern. So this is a quilt pattern available at Stitches Quilting, and you can purchase the quilt pattern. It's $29, but it comes with worksheets all about the different health and wellness topics. So this is our balance worksheet. So It is a balancing act in life with the things that we need to do, but if we have a strong foundation, we can do those, we can have balance in a better way. So, but first of all, I want to go into the construction of this quilt block. So, and maybe I should zoom in on this workspace. But I have my square right here. Okay, I've trimmed off my dog ears. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to keep this line of the gray, because that's the corner of my block. I'm going to keep this line of the gray squared up. So I'm going to match this point with this point right here of this square. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up to you. So you can see that this 90-degree angle is matched up with the 90-degree angle of this square, and we can see these dog ears of the triangle hanging off the side. All right, so this is going to be our stitching line. I am actually going to stick a pin in it so that you guys can see this a little bit better. But if anybody's new to quilting, when you're working with triangles, you want to match that 90-degree angle and then have the dog ears kind of hang off the piece that you're sewing it to, because you want that 1/4 of an inch seam to be available later. So I'm going to stitch this right like that. So let's take it over to the sewing machine and go ahead and put that stitch in. So you guys, you know how I'm taking, okay, oh my gosh, Dolores, okay, you know how I've been taking care of my in-laws, okay, well, you won't believe what happened. Oh my goodness gracious, okay, and I need to increase my stitch length. It's pretty low from doing the foundation paper piecing blocks. Okay, you guys, you won't believe what happened, but let me unpick this, but they had some warped flooring in their kitchen, some hardwood floors, and so the insurance company was covering it for them to get a new hardwood floor, and so they tore up the old floor, and that happened on Thursday and Friday of last week. So not only have I been up there trying to take care of them, but also dealing with kind of construction issues and trying to keep the house safe for them as construction was going on. And anyways, so they got that subfloor, they got the hardwood floor completely pulled up. I'm sorry to be talking about personal stuff, but they pulled up the subfloor completely, or the whole floor, so that the only thing that was left was the subfloor, okay? Because there used to be linoleum on there, because they've lived in that house for 60 years. Anyways, what happened is Sweet Betty, you know, Brant is 101. Sweet Betty walked into the kitchen and she fell through the floor. You guys, I'm really serious about this. Her leg went completely through the floor. Okay, now we're going to take this other block right here. Remember, we're matching these 90-degree angles right here. And we're going to have extra fabric come over here where we're going to have our 1/4 inch seam. She fell through the floor and it went through her tendons, her muscles. It was a very, very deep gash. I mean, her leg was coming down through the basement. She didn't go completely through the floor, but her leg did. So the ambulance came, and then Betty had like a heart attack too, and she's got a really mean, nasty leg. And anyways, she's in the hospital now. So I was in the hospital with her yesterday. It's just kind of like everything's kind of going weird. Well, Betty did. Brant's wife. His wife fell through the floor of the subfloor. There was a board that was weak, or not weak, it just wasn't attached to the joist underneath properly. You guys, can you believe that? Oh my gosh. So anyways, okay, so yeah, yesterday was Corey's birthday. Yes, Betty. So Brant is 101 and Betty is 98. So, but they're both alive. They're doing great. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this unit that we sewed together with half square triangles, and we're going to attach it to this other unit that is a half square triangle, okay? We're going to flip this around this way. We're going to make sure that we're matching our 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I'm going to line this up on this block, and then we're going to match, I'm going to match with a pin right here. I don't know why I'm using those teeny tiny pins. I don't need to. I do that for foundation paper piecing. So let me pull out my bigger pin. There we go. Okay, so now you guys, I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam right along here, and when I do that, I'm going to intersect these two seams right here. You see that? Okay, so let's lay this down. Okay, now, and let's also talk about balance. Yeah, they need a plastic bubble for them, like from my shipping materials, a plastic bubble. Anyways, so balance is tricky, but if we have a solid foundation that we're kind of building our balance on, like faith, you know, or other things, like if you look at a pyramid is sure and strong, right? And why it can balance, a pyramid can balance together, which this is also all these triangles, like a pyramid, kind of like. It can do that because there is a sure foundation holding that pyramid up. And maybe for some of us, that foundation might be our faith, okay? So no matter what happens, we can't be too jostled because we've got that faith to strengthen us. Everybody has different sources of things that sure their balance so that they don't get too shaken in life. But we also have to work on our routines with balance. Okay, so there's our cute little balance quilt block. Let me show you, where did I set my little tiny one? Okay, let me flip the camera to the front. Okay, so this is our balance quilt block for the Live Well, Live Strong quilt. But remember, it's also important that we pace ourselves, that we know what our limitations are, that we don't push ourselves too hard, and we pace ourselves with the things that we need to do and the things that we're responsible for. So that's another important aspect of balance in our lives, and to try to maintain that feeling. If your washing machine goes off balance, why does it go off balance? Because a heavy portion of what you've put in that load of laundry is putting the machine off balance, and you've got something really heavy on one side and it isn't evenly distributed. So remember, we're not a washing machine, but we function similarly. We need to balance out what we are doing. There is also a lot of balance that I think God has used as He's created the world in sacred Greek geometry. So I don't know if you've seen like a snail shell and how it is so balanced out. Does that make sense? Even nature that God has created. So remember, we need to stay true to that balance. So whether we're riding a bike and we're staying balanced on the bike, we do that by using gravity to our benefit and using momentum to our benefit. So when we're feeling out of sync and we're feeling out of balance, sometimes we need to have movement to move into a different direction, to take and check different aspects of our lives to keep that balance. So those are just some of the little balance thoughts and just thoughts to embrace throughout your day. We have, you guys, it's so cute because that little foundation paper piece balance block I've set it down someplace. But here is the foundation paper piece balance block in the 20 inch by 20 inch Live Well, Live Strong. The 60 inch by 60 inch is behind me. What helps you guys to have balance in your lives? And how does balance help you have health and wellness? So for me right now, I need to call. I messaged one of Luke's doctors about something, and I need to call and get him a dental appointment and an eye appointment, okay? So we need to balance things out. I need to make sure I'm not only taking care of my in-laws and helping out, but we're having other family members helping with that too, because that makes them feel good and connected with their loved ones. But I also need to make sure that I have my house in order, and I need to make sure that I'm taking care of other things in life too. And we need to have that balance that happens, and God wants us to be that way, and we need to be that way too. So you guys, I absolutely love you guys so much, and I'm so excited to be able to show up for you and to be here for you and to be live. But remember, I'll be back on Wednesday, and we are going to stitch together the very, very small balance quilt block for the foundation paper piecing, and I'll give you the tips and tricks for that. So yes, Corey ended up, I was in the hospital all day with Betty, but Corey had a wonderful birthday. with all of our kids. And one of the best parts for Corey was seeing little cute Ellie, our granddaughter, and when she saw him, she squealed really big, and then she gave him the biggest, tightest hug around the neck, and he was just so happy. So Corey had a beautiful, wonderful day for his birthday, and we're going to celebrate his birthday a little bit more later this week. So just because I wasn't able to be here with him as much, you know what I mean? But I was serving his mom, which is serving him too. So, and he's just fine with that. So I love you guys so much, and you guys have a really great day, and we will chat with you later. But please share how you're achieving balance in your life, because, you know, maybe I need that advice, okay? So I love you guys so much, and I love to hear all your tips and tricks for how you do things too. Love you guys. Have a great day. I'll see you on Monday at noon, and we'll go over the teeny tiny balance block. Love you. Bye-bye.